Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Psychologist, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like them other dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time with them to go off an eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. He was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing light. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty, I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty, I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing
you're touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Welcome. All right, good. I'll push this back a little bit. All right, I hope you guys are doing well. Let me see. Welcome, Chidima. Welcome, Epsiba. Good to see you. Welcome. We have a very, very important topics to cover today. Yes, today we'll be going through the 17 shocking lessons in 17 years of marriage as a husband. Shout out to everybody who sent their well wishes. This last weekend was my wife and I's 17th anniversary. Thank you. And then also, hold on one second. There you go. Aha. Yeah, today also we will be talking about, we'll be talking about one particular young lady, Dr. Bryant. We're going to talk about Judge Mathis, 40 years of marriage, almost 40 years of marriage, divorce, ended up in the ditch. Too bad. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Trina Braxton's husband's furious exchange on the internet along with her, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, of course, well, not only are we going to be talking about the 17 lessons that we'll be breaking, we'll also be debunking 17 myths along the way. These are basically myths and false beliefs that I had to break for me to be here today. So for me to still be in a marriage today. So we're going to be talking about that. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let's ping everybody else into the room. Over here, we extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics. And then we tackle them from a self-power, social seduction, attraction, and emotional intelligence standpoint. We've written books on these topics. So my wife and I have written books on these topics. You can download them for free. Number one red flag and get my marriage back. Okay, you can download them for free at manofprestige.com. If you prefer audiobooks, Kindle, paperback, or hardcover like that, you can also access them from the same link, manofprestige.com. Shout out to my sponsors for helping us keep this alive, what we're doing here. I'm a little bit clumsy, so we're getting there. Hold on one second. I hope I'm not too blurry. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Let's clean the camera. That's the wrong camera. There you go. I think it's better. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to Misty. Hello, Misty. Good to see you. All right. What else? House rules. Shout out to my sponsors: Mo Fresh, Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Goret's Corner, D-Love 3000, Yes TV, Chidima, of course, Sparkleberry, Barry Parker. Thank you so much. This month, we are up to $223.31. Thank you for all the donations. Our monthly goal is $449. We have another, 3-4 days more to go in August 2024. You can sponsor this show for as low as 99 US dollar cents. Okay, you can also send your donations via Zelle, PayPal, using the email address ask@manofprestige.com. You can also send coaching requests, marriage, relationship, life coaching requests to that same email address. You can send your donations through Cash App to $Man of Prestige as well. All right, and also you can send any request via WhatsApp text messages only to +1732 305 8577. Without any further ado, let's get into today's show. We have a fantastic show lined up for today. All right. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.
My value.
Self-preservation is the first law of nature.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to take care of yourself, but still take the attempt to put your children's feelings before your own.
And I think that's why statistically, that's a big reason why the divorce rate is high, because of what you just said, people putting kids first. I beg to differ, even though my dad agrees with you too. He's the dad, he puts us first. He don't care who walks, we come first. So he's been an excellent father, but not the best of men, just being real. Me and him had debates where I say, Daddy, I don't agree with that. He's like, I'll never put a woman before you or even my mother. And I'm saying, I don't agree with that. When I have kids with my husband, we come first. Doesn't mean the kids go without, but when you have two adults who understand that we're showing learned behavior and we're teaching our kids what a healthy relationship looks like, not just for marriage, but also them. It doesn't mean that the kids don't eat and the wife and husband does. There's a hierarchy for me that goes God, my hubs, me, and then the kids.
I understand
and so
that.
The covenant is broken only for me. I'm not self-projecting. The covenant is broken when it goes the other way. Of course, if I'm married and my husband says, if only one person gets to eat and there's three of us, I'm sure both of us are going to equally agree it's the child.
Right.
But when it comes to making sure our relationship is healthy, which is really the healthiness of the...
All right, so a quick question. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Who comes first? The kids or your partner or your husband or your wife? Who comes first? For some of you, that may be like, duh, right? For some other people, it might be like, of course, whatever your answer is, right? But I'm curious to know who comes first for you and what's your logic? What's your explanation behind your choice? Who comes first? The kids or your partner? That's what I am asking. Hold on one second. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Let's still talk.
Environment for our child. And for me, my value is only my husband comes first and I come first. And I find in my session of 17 years, Nick, there's been many more men than women who come in and say that the relationship failed. And if you look at divorce rate statistics of when divorce happens, it's after that first child.
Yeah.
It's after, because
they should have never got married in the first place.
Probably so, but also because, whoever it was, and from my experience, it has been the woman. We're not knocking women, but it's been the woman more who has placed the child first and totally dissipated the man out the relationship.
Only reason why I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this.
All right, before he disagrees, as you can notice here, this is a man, a full-blown grown man, Nick Cannon. We're looking at Nick Cannon and a young lady coach, psychologist, that's her accolades, Dr. Shani Bryant, and they're having a conversation. They had a lot of conversation. Now, she's had a lot of conversation over the past few days, and I just wanted to bring this up to speed with you guys because these are the kind of conversations that are influencing a lot of people out there. As you can see, Nick Cannon is absolutely disagreeing. I see Chidima say spouse, definitely no kids without a spouse in a marriage. Takes a spouse to make the kids. Okay. Yep. Let me see. Did Misty say something? I'm not seeing Mrs. comment. We'll say she herself come first, not spouse or kids. Misty, what do you say? They're tagging you here. But yes, who comes first? The spouse or the child, right? I'm gonna let them talk a little bit more. He's about to disagree, and let's see what his logic or explanations are.
It's okay. It's because we're talking life.
Yeah.
These children did not ask to be here.
Right.
They are a responsibility.
100%.
As individuals, I can't put my desires and my happiness, or I shouldn't,
right,
over someone that I am responsible for. So even I'm not even talking about putting food on the table and all. I'm talking about, we're talking about mental, physical, and spiritual well-being in a household. I'm not, and again, this is pretty heavy. Because one, I grew up with it, and I'm a product of it, and I'm producing it.
Yeah.
When an adult is saying, you know, mama gotta live too. Mama need her man. Daddy gonna do his thing. I'll be back. When those mentalities are presented to a child,
that's a different mentality.
That's where abandonment issues
surface,
and where a child feels like I'm not good enough.
Abandonment.
In that sense, because they made decisions for themselves before they made decisions for me. And children pick up on that at a very early age. So I much rather say, it ain't about your mama right now. I'm rocking with you. And say that to my child as much as possible. Even if that hurts mama's feelings. To me, at least, because I know that child is going to grow up with a certain level of self-worth.
Self-worth. Isn't that convenient? We tend to bring in self-worth when it's convenient. Don't we do that? We do that quite often, right? Self-worth, self-esteem, self-discovery. All right. What do you guys think about Nick Cannon's logic? What do you guys think? Self-worth. Is that a way to build self-worth with the kids? I'm asking, honestly, all of our comprehensions will make sense here to make sense. Is that a way to help kids build self-worth? What do you guys think? Self-worth. So just tell them that they are more important than their mother or their father. Demonstrate it at every chance you get. The point here is there's a comparison, and then in order to build self-worth. Okay, that's actually the point. Let's keep going. Let me play a little bit more.
They didn't feel like daddy put work before me, daddy put women before me, daddy put whatever before me. If I can instill anything into my own children is that you are my number one priority.
Wow.
Even all that I do is for you. Every dollar that I make is going to you. So
interesting.
Again, I'm pretty sure people in the comments going to debate, have different things. Like, we all have different experiences, but every time I see an adult put their happiness.
But you're describing more of an adult saying, I'm going to do me at the expense of you.
Even in a marriage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even in a marriage, but we're not talking about the level of I'm going to do me at the expense of your needs. I'm going to do me for my pleasures at the expense of that.
Because we do that as humans.
But a healthy family dynamic takes balance, and it's very unhealthy for a child to feel like they are number one above authority. Because what happens?
Authority. Does she have a point? Okay, now we're going from putting a child who comes first to children. We're going from that to self-worth, and then now we're going from self-worth to authority. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it. What do you guys think? Now they're going to authority. Which one is... Now let's compare authority to self-worth. Which one is more important in terms of your kids? Your kids being able to respect authority or having self-worth. Which one is much more important? Do we even need to compare the two? Let's keep going.
They grow up to then disrespect authority, which we entitle, and they grow up with this narcissistic type of personality, even if they're not diagnosed with it. And then you have
spoiled brats.
And then you have these kids who don't respect when law enforcement pulls them over. We have an issue. They're going to school, and these teachers can't even get them to sit still enough because they're so used to being number one and things going their way. No.
Yep.
Listen, the first place a child should get their feelings hurt by hearing no, or the first place a child should see that you are not always number one is circumstantial, should be at home.
Okay, all right. So Nick Cannon said, yeah, you're always number one. Like, you come first, no matter what. It's very important to instill that in a child. She's saying in real life, you're not always going to be number one. Who else is going to teach your kids that? I wonder. Anyway, Chidima says, children need to know that regardless of what happens between mom and dad, they will always be loved, taken care of. I wouldn't use words comparison or competition, right? I will make them know everyone has their place, right? Ninja Natu came with the ninja head. And Ninja has 200 baby mothers. Is that why he's putting his children first? Maybe, right? Welcome, Natu. Children are vulnerable and require my priority. I expect my spouse to understand that and be supportive. But what about this angle that we're looking at right now? Who's going to show them that they will not always be number one in life? How do you plan to show them this? By way of speech or just a question? Because she brought up a good point there too. I think Nikano's point is good too. The self-worth thing. You guys know that I always talk about self-worth here is everything. It's literally everything. But oftentimes when I say that, people can easily also take me out of context, right? Just the same way that people have been taking self-discovery out of context. Some people are using self-discovery as their permission to punish themselves for a lifetime. Yep. To justify what really doesn't need justification, right? So, but we'll see. Mr. E said, my spouse's sport and that of my children aren't comparable. Each has their own place. You know what? In real life, you will be presented with very difficult situations where kids need to know what the priority is, right? Where kids are literally going to look at you and look at daddy and look at mommy and look at daddy and say, who's like these kids can be selfish like that. They will test you like that, right? So if they come first, right? Who comes first? They come first. Depending on what else is going on in that dynamics, there might be other things going on, but oftentimes you'll be put in that position where there's actually comparison going on, you know. So that's how difficult life and marriage can get, particularly marriage inside of life or life inside of marriage. The kids will test you. One of the things that I've had to address many times with my clients is the disagreement between husband and wife when it comes to raising their kids. It's real and it will show up regardless of how perfect, how fine you are as a woman or how handsome you are as a husband. You will have disagreement around the kids sometimes. And you will be put in that position. Let's keep going. Welcome, Chiye.
Because life is going to teach you that you are not always going to be the butter cake of everybody's dessert. Nick, I'm sorry. You know, so, but what I'm saying, then what that does is that creates that emptiness that I'm going to poke at you, that emptiness and that sense of inadequacy within you because you were groomed in a certain way that life can't maintain. And so what happens is you're number one.
You were groomed that you're always number one, and that's not sustainable in real life. She's making a good point. I do think self-worth is a good point, but she's making a good point. Imagine if you were groomed that you're always number one, even above your own mother or father, right? Amongst many other factors, could that be a reason why you feel entitled about life? Yeah. If you align that with 3 other factors, that child will collect in life. Let's keep going.
And you're the golden child and all these things. It happens with athletes. Then you go into the real world after you retire and everything shatters. Now you got depression, your suicide ideations.
But they still accomplish things that most people will never accomplish and experience great experience because we told them how great they were from the beginning. We instilled in them that we're going to support you all the way along your ride so you can not only reach the levels that you want, so you can reach back and then get the rest of their family.
We will support you along your ride. That does not mean that kid doesn't understand balance, that there's a thing called boundaries that our community doesn't seem to have, probably because of that dynamic. The boundary goes, baby, we've been at your football game, your soccer game, your ballerina game, daddy and I all day. It's 9 o'clock. It's shutdown time. There's a boundary where it's time where this is our time and you're
All right. What do you guys think? She's making sense to me. It's a debate between Dr. Bryant and Nick Cannon. One person is a 41-year-old single woman, never been married, never had kids. One person has about 200 kids by multiple women, was once married to Mariah Carey, one of my faves. She said, by not raising a bunch of entitled kids, by saying no at times because life be lifing. Right. So let's see here. Where have you been, hon? Making the Benjamins. They're abandoning me here, but God and the algorithms has my back. Husband is number one, followed by kids. All right. Sometimes you have to make difficult decisions in life. Toby and Tribe says, I pick my child over any person for this life, including husband. We're being specific here, including husband. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Including a husband. We're not talking about a boyfriend. We're not talking about a fiance that you don't really know what's tomorrow, but we're talking about a husband. A husband, a competent husband. I have 17 lessons and 17 myths to break for the husbands today. Welcome, Priscilla. Good to see you. Chidima said, I'm sorry, but I feel that this mentality will negatively affect our marriage. What kind of relationship would the spouses have when the kids grow up and move out and get married? Interesting enough, I have another topic today where I'm actually going to be giving you 5 ways to avoid a partner pulling the plug at 39 years mark. You know, Judge Matty's wife files for divorce after nearly 40 years of marriage. We'll talk about that. I'll give you 5 ways to avoid that. That comes up in the Chidima. That comes up in there. Those children are going to leave your ass behind at some point, just in case you never see anything yet. They're going to leave you, okay? They, not only are they going to leave you, they're going to leave you to cleave on to other human beings. Anyway, Chi says, we should be a team and raising the kids because we'll grow up and leave. Then you will have an empty nester and left with your husband. I told you, today is a pact. If anybody missed today's masterclass, hey, well, I don't do. Today is the day. Today is fact. I've seen, okay. You guys are joining. Let's see if there's any more here.
Teaching your child how to grow up and not be a narcissist that then needs his woman or her man to put them first over everything, which is...
No, their own children will never be narcissists. Narcissists, they are monsters. Their own children will never be narcissists. Why is she bringing that up, right? I'm being sarcastic.
Boundary where it's time where this is our time and you're teaching your child how to grow up and not be a narcissist that then needs his woman or her man to put them first over everything, which is a fairy tale and unrealistic. You're teaching them the balance between, we are a family dynamic. There's times that daddy's going to come first. There's times that mama's going to come first. And there's times that you come first. But what we do is we teach that so that it becomes more of a wholesome type of feel, not me. And the moment you don't get me, you flee because you can't sit in your emotions of hearing no. Because you got to control things to keep things the way you need it, which is called codependency. So what you describe is then creating a codependent child that says, if I'm not the center, guess what?
Yep.
Fuck all this because I'm not the center of attention.
It got to be the center. It got to be the understand that in a dynamic.
Kids create. We grow up to, if we don't do the work, right, and get a sense of self, we grow up to create the exact environment we learn to thrive or survive in, period. That's all we know. We can't create past what we know. That's why experience teaches, words don't. So if our child or my child...
Experience teaches us, words don't. Wow.
Your beautiful kids are always at the center of you. And she grows up and gets a man who cannot...
That's why when people don't want hair and they have coconut head, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. This is the real world. Experience is still the best teacher.
He's a great man, but she can't be the center because what if he got kids like you and them kids are the center?
She need to pick better.
That is gonna. She may have to pick better.
But
but just say she has someone who can't give her that same treatment, and that's her norm. You have to be realistic about, or should I say, aware about what norms am I creating for my kids? What? No, and I'm saying because listen, I'm a product of what you're saying. I was the golden child. I was the child that came first.
And look at you.
I was but I had to work through a lot of BS.
We all do. We all have
all right, we all do. So we all do. Listen, all the talking points, there's always more than enough talking points to support our BS. It's okay. That's why experience is the best teacher at the end of the day. So I'm very patient. I just wait for people to experience it. Nick better grasp this mess right now before he creates little monsters. Especially somebody that has multiple households all over the place. They really need to, especially if you have multiple kids, multiple baby fathers, multiple households, especially, you cannot afford to have your kids thinking the whole world revolve around them. They learn from what you do. They learn from examples more so than what you say. It's very important that they see a joint force, if possible. As I understand, some circumstances might not warrant that, but that's a different topic. You still need to find a way to instill this in your children, that the world will not revolve around them. If their whole childhood, they keep thinking that mommy is going to take up for me. Oh no. Nick is a coconut that he needs to close his mouth and listen. No, he's not going to listen.
Challenges. We all come with some shit, and that's like we even right now we're discussing a very small percentage of people, because if we keeping it a stack, we all done been through some shit.
Oh yeah, all of us, yeah.
And it only makes us stronger in that sense, to where when we get
all right. So in continuation of this Dr. Bryant feature today, let me play this video for you all, and then we'll take it from there. If you can't hear it, please let me know on time. Thank you.
Therefore, I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked. And at times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things? That's because I'm a man.
Right. And but not all men do that. We don't want to blanket all men.
And
all
I was
men do not prey and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans prey and manipulate, but in a man in a relationship,
not in a praying way. Not in a praying way.
If I see that I can say, okay, I feel like I need this and this person has this, I'm gonna do and say whatever I need to do to get that.
But Nick.
So therefore, I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked. And at times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things? That's because I'm a man.
Right. And but not all men do that. We don't want to. With all due respect, seriously, to all the women that you've encountered, ladies, I'm saying this. The reason why it's worked for you is because you have chosen and to prey on low functioning women who don't have the emotional intelligence. No, I'm going there. Who will allow you to do that, Nick? And when I say allow, it's not a control thing. When I say allow, I'm not saying that she sits across you and says, this is what you won't do. You're crossing a boundary, Nick.
All right. So in the first clip, he was saying that all people prey on people, but yet somehow he's not willing to admit that he sprayed on, I wouldn't call them low functioning women though. Especially if these are mothers, I wouldn't call them low functioning women. I think the definition of high functioning, low functioning is people who are very active, essentially, not necessarily high, low value. It doesn't matter. But either way, she's making a point. Let's see.
I disagree.
With all due respect, seriously, to all the women that you've encountered, ladies, I'm saying this. The reason why it's worked for you is because you have chosen and to prey on low functioning women who don't have the emotional intelligence. No, I'm going there.
Who don't have emotional intelligence. She said, I'm going there.
Allow you to do that, Nick. And when I say allow, it's not a control thing.
I wouldn't say that directly to him, not in his face. I wouldn't.
When I say allow, I'm not saying that she sits.
Yeah, I will sit on the fence.
Across you and says, this is what you won't do. You're crossing a boundary. Nick.
I disagree.
I would avoid, this is why I avoid all those terminologies, right? People have how they feel. They need to acknowledge how they feel before you can help them anyway. So why would I need to put labels on how they feel? It doesn't help. If anything, you're going to get, I disagree. You know why? Because they've been reading. Right? Guess what he just said? I disagree.
With all due respect, seriously, to all.
With all due respect is always backed by actual disrespect. But anyway, I'm sure she didn't mean that. She's supposed to be a coach. She's been working hard. she's been doing very well so far. But
I don't know if it's the Libra in me, if it's my abandonment issues as a child. I'm quick to be like, we agree to disagree, so I'm out. I'll run, I'll detach, I'll act like, I'll shut down, I internalize. And I know that's not healthy, but.
All right, so it is very possible. Oh, sorry, you guys couldn't see the screen anymore. It's okay, we're here. It is very possible to know that you're doing the wrong thing and still struggle with stopping it. Okay, it's very, very possible. Okay, it's very, very possible. Not to say where's the lie though. The thing is that with this kind of conversations, we don't focus on what's the lie or what's the truth. Because what might be truth to you may be a lie to the other person from their perception standpoint. And if this is a relationship you care about, then that becomes a problem. That becomes a confusion, right? So we don't want to worry about just the fact that she's telling the truth. It needs to be told in a way that it can be received. It's useless if the truth cannot be received. It becomes useless, effectively a lie. Let's see. So is he choosing low-functioning women to be the mothers of his children? That's what they're saying. That's what she just said, right to his face. They allow him prey on them. Wahala. But it's not even that. And I can respect that he's not willing to say like no, of course not. Like, no, of course not. I'm not going to, Chia said, that's true, Ola. You see, that would be a lie if you couldn't receive it, right? You needed to understand that, comprehend that. There are many people, believe it or not, that I will say that to, and that still sounded like a lie to them. Because in their mind, let's call a spade a spade. Right? Let's call a spade a spade. Sometimes in your relationships, you're calling a spade, and the other person is still asking you. Like in your mind, right? In your experience, you're telling them what the truth is, but they're like, you did lie. Why are you lying? Right? That's relationships for you. So you got to keep that in mind when you're interacting with your significant others. If they're coming off as they're saying something that's not accurate, it's not your experience, slow down. Ask more questions for clarification. Don't be so quick to assume that things are a lie. If you tell them it's a lie, they're going to take an offense to that. And worse, they're not able to tell you that, I take an offense to that. Or they attack you right back, and then you have an effective basketballs in your hands. Your problems. So he's talking about abandonment stuff here. Those are very, very thick stuff that a lot of people need to walk through. He was talking about he will run and detach. Many, many, many amongst you are in relationships with this type of people. And if you don't know what you're doing, you just be there arguing with your destiny. They're not even hearing you anymore. They felt everything you said as an attack. Priscilla said 3 is a crowd. Simple, yes. Yes, 2 or 3. Right? It gets crowdy, and then before you know it, it's just messy all over the place. Anyway, that's another one from the Dr. Bryant. She's been doing some rounds, and I thought this was some really good talking points. But on this one, she caught, I think she caught a fade a little bit. I wouldn't say to that man's face that the mother of his kids, of all 200 kids, are low vibrational, low functioning people that got preyed on. If you said that to me, I would tell you I disagree with you too, by the way. I would tell you go to hell. Why? Because I'm a normal human being. Why would you want to say that to me? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, here's another one. Let's see. Here's another one. Let's see. Low functioning, high vibration, low vibration. So she also sat with a young man, athlete used to be. I'm not sure what is. I don't watch sports, so I don't know. His name is Cam Cam Newton. Yes. So let's listen to this too.
The opposite of that would be low.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Is can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yeah, some more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I thought I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
by how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
about your wife?
I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have to
because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce.
All right, let's process that. His desire to get married is lower than his fear of divorce. All right, let's all stop the cap. There are many people like that today. Right? Let's stop the cap. There are many people like that today. Can we all admit to that? Can we all admit to that? At least let me come to the chat. There are many people like that today. 8 kids. I think he said 6 baby mothers or something like that. Anyway, hold on 1 second before we continue here. We're still warming up. We're warming up. Let's see. What did I miss? Did I miss anything in the chat? A little bit, right? I don't see Mariah Carey as such. They were in a marriage, and it was after the marriage that it was just all over the place. I'm finding out that some men go AWire with women as no, they do. Not AWire, but not necessarily with the kids. You can go AWire with womanizing, but not necessarily. It doesn't have to be with a bunch of kids everywhere, right? Coping mechanism after divorce. You should change that to go AWire with kids to go AWire with having kids. But those are 2 separate things, right? So what is he supposed to say? Was he or she? You mean she? I would say party done. This conversation is over. Like they say that to you, yeah? So what is she supposed to say? It depends on where the conversation is coming from there, but as you can see, he shut down, right? So anything you would say that will make a person shut down it becomes pointless to say them, right? At least you back off a little bit, try to understand where they're coming from so you can land your point. I'm sure you have your own points of what you want to say or why you are saying all of the mothers are low functioning. She will never have enough information to call them low functioning. Okay, because they are mothers, they're high functioning. Okay, I don't think she should say that. Period. I don't know what she was trying to say, right? But whatever she was trying to say was not necessary. Some people enter their whole era after breakfast, yes, but that doesn't have to turn to kids, though. Jesus, there are condoms out there. You guys know that, right? Yeah, you can use Duncons. So no, he said 3 moms. Did he say 3 moms? Okay, 3 moms. Okay. All right, 3 baby mothers. All right. Chinya said no, go AWire with women. In this situation, kids came along with the whole. So you don't think I agree with you, but so are you trying to say that Nick could not really figure out how to not have a bunch of kids while he was doing his thing with multiple women? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, feel free to say that. He couldn't figure that out. Is that what this is? Anyway.
So, as you would say it, Dr. Bryant, you said it. I didn't say it. I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
Let's go back to the kids.
Is lower than my fear of divorce.
These are the reasons why he has 8 kids. Okay.
To bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have.
He wants God to just bring them.
Is,
he wants God to just bring the kids. He wants more kids.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So
that's real.
As you would say it, Dr. Bryant, you said it. I didn't say it. I would.
Is that a real reason to start having kids all over the place with no structure? Let's keep going.
Will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay?
Absolutely.
So you're creating.
Hit the like button. Hit
And
the like button.
disclaimer. The kids are innocent. They are
Let's
beautiful,
ginger the
amazing.
algorithms.
Anything I
Thank
say has
you.
nothing to do with them babies because I can't wait to be a mom and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well.
Oh.
Say perfect.
All right. Let's see. Eventually, they're going to add more ads onto these things. We won't be able to skip after one. All right, we're back.
Where you want to be active. You are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence.
Well, this is the part that the Gen Z is coming up with. You don't have to have a family. There's no need for that. You could just procreate kids just because you desire them. Of course you can, right? And that's a great solution for a lot of people. Here's the problem. Every solution, not even your solution, that's half-ass, Gen Z people, every solution also creates problems. But even more problems when you really think, when you find a solution is the end of solutions or is the end of life. You found solution, end of the movie, Nollywood movie, Netflix, hit at the movie box theater, right? Unfortunately, every solution you create in life creates new problems. And many people don't come from that place of awareness. So how much more when you create kids out of, you just want kids? Well, there are many people doing that these days, and that's fine, but the only thing I ask them is just be aware that you are creating new problems, not the kids, but you're creating new problems. And really all you have to do is, the start is just be aware of that. Because if you're aware of it, there's a chance that you will put more effort in mitigating whatever those problems or the risk are, right? But if you're completely in the blind and you just move around life anyhow, right? Talking about, I'm just taking my time. You're still going to be, inshallah, you're going to be here for a long time, right? To pick up some of those pieces, right? At most 2 decades from now, you start seeing the effect of that decision. At most 2 decades from now. Let's keep going.
And knowing you thus far, but these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all.
You was just having sex.
Those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear.
So what do you guys think about that? I'm going to play the last clip of Dr. Bryant with some of those people. What do you guys think about that? Do you agree with her? I bet that's just a bunch of gibberish. What do you think so far? Okay, so he's gonna push back a little bit, just a little bit, right? Let's see here. Let's take this.
This is my point that I was saying, and we're kind of taking a step back to Euro.
Welcome, Uncle Beno.
Try to score.
Right.
Now, I'm having a hard time to believe a very educated, a very attractive woman out of 41 years have not met Mr. Right.
Wait, what?
That's enough time to find a lot of things out.
I bet.
And yet,
wait, what?
No kids, single.
What?
I'm not, but I am saying, are women's expectations unrealistic?
No, I'm gonna say, like I said on Nick,
okay,
the question shouldn't be why is.
She's going to explain herself now. Okay, everybody, brace yourself. Okay, she's 41, never been married, no kids. Okay, and she's about to explain why. not.
We go explain because no evidence.
Let's see how this goes. Okay. I mean, you knew that conversation was gonna go there, right? It's just a conversation, right? Let's see.
Unrealistic.
No, I'm gonna say, like I said on Nick, the question shouldn't be why isn't a woman of age, of success, of a certain caliber not married with kids? The question should be, why are people rushing to the altar just to become divorcees or baby mamas and baby daddies? I think if anything, we need to be teaching our society.
Wait, what? Let's go back to the question. Let's go back to the question. Honestly, ladies, if you are in this kind of shoes, please don't you don't need to explain yourself on this ever again. Everybody's journey is different. You never have to explain yourself, okay? It doesn't mean you can't seek help if you feel you need help, but you never have to explain yourself in this manner. But let's see the answer again. Wait.
Woman out of 41 years have not met Mr. Right. That's enough time to find a lot of things out.
I bet.
And yet, no kids, single. I'm not, but I am saying, are women's expectations unrealistic?
The question is, are women's expectations realistic? Right? Now, the answer she gives to this will determine the answer to your question. Is that a bad thing? Right? The answer she gives will determine if it's a bad thing or not. Right? No, let me say. How focused she is on answering that specific question will determine if it's a bad thing or not. We were not going to answer that question for her. Oh, by the way, Cam Newton is also not going to answer that question for her. She gets to answer that question with the way she handles this very specific question. What's the specific question? Are women, let him say it. Now, hold on.
Are women's expectations unrealistic?
Unrealistic.
No, I'm gonna say, like I said on Nick, the question shouldn't be why isn't a woman of age, of success, of a certain caliber not married with kids? The question should be why.
She got stuck on all the leading points to the main question. She got stuck on all the leading points to the main question. Why? Because she's a human being like the rest of us. Something hit a nerve. That's why. Right? We still don't know what the answers are. Right? But clearly, those things that he was using because those are reality. She's 41, single, never been married, right? Those are part of the story she told in the beginning of the podcast. You guys should go and watch the podcast. Very interesting podcast on commutings. I'll see if I can link. I'll try to remember to link the actual podcast in the comment area. Right? So this is what the story she's told before. So nothing special. She should just, if she's going to answer any question, she should focus on, I don't think women are unrealistic. Focus on that, but she couldn't. Why? Because there's some type of truth for her, at least. Right? Maybe it's the same reason why Natu is asking that question.
Why are people rushing to the altar just to become divorcees or baby mamas and baby daddies? I think if anything, we need to be teaching our society, take your time, young man or young woman, so that you can get to know not just this person, but yourself first.
Is this not the same podcast where the young man said he was taking his time and creating kids all over the place because he wants to be a father, but he's more afraid. His fear of divorce, something like that. It's the same podcast, right? Why am I playing this for you? Just know that human emotions are not your mate. That's all. Okay, that's the whole point of this. Nobody is right or wrong here. Human emotions are not your mate. Lots and lots of emotional intelligence is required for this type of conversations. All those right and wrong rhetoric will always fall in the poto because everyone feels right and the other person always feels right. And when you make them wrong, that makes you wrong because they're like, what do you mean I'm wrong? Right? They feel like a loser, and that's a person, that's your person. Now they feel wrong, they feel like a loser. It never pans out right. Let's keep going. They're not doing anything wrong, they're just having a conversation.
So that you can choose a life partner, not that person isn't exempt to divorce. instead of rushing to the altar just to become a divorcee or a baby mama and have multiple kids by multiple women, just to say you have broken families everywhere. I don't see no benefit in that. I believe, like I tell my brother,
They didn't ask you why you didn't go and marry to go and divorce. They said, why you not married? They didn't even ask you why you married only to end up divorced. They didn't ask none of that. Somehow we end up in that part of the conversation.
he's in here, Shane, all the time, and who's 31 with no kids and doing well for himself. Take your time. You don't need to rush to an altar just to divorce this woman. And another thing is people who actually feel high valued within themselves, not financially, internally they feel high valued. They're not rushing to have a wife or a husband at the expense of divorce just to feel like they've added value to themselves. Because it's a deficit if you're marrying for the wrong purposes. It is an asset if you're marrying from a place of creating a family, of creating stability, of raising kids who can see this thing move and this house not be homeless, but this house have wealth in it, the real wealth that actually sustains. And so for me, I'd rather take my time choosing than end up doing time because I'm making wrong decisions. I'm good.
Say less.
Got him! Got him!
All right, just leave her alone, please, okay? It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It happens to the best of us. They ask us one simple question and we're just all over the place. When we get in our emotions, it's real, it's okay, it's all right, it's all right, leave her alone, okay? She should not be shamed for being single, never be married, particularly never be married. There are many people that can be single after 40 for life circumstances, life happens to us. That's our own life happening to it. It's just what it is. Some people's journey are different, you know, and it is what it is. She's also made some mention that she's been doing a lot of work. In fact, go watch the podcast. You will notice she's had 2 failed engagements and 2 failed proposals. I think so. No, 2 failed engagements, and she called off 2 weddings, and she called off 2 weddings and 2 engagements. And she's a life, relationship, and marriage coach. Okay. Welcome to the real world. Welcome to the real world. Just leave her alone. You can never be too careful. You can never be too careful. All you can be is live life and continue to be the best version of yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people either. But when you're 41, you've never been married, it will hit a nerve if somebody asks you that question. Never had any kids. When people ask you that question, you never have to explain yourself. You never have to. Just make sure you're working on yourself. That's all. As a feminist, you should have the right answer now. Uncle Beno, dear, easy. But she's not creating kids up and down. You're helping her do the tit for tat, Abby. Yes, it's a bit contradictory. However, she can justify her own situation and say that she's not having different kids with different men as she's trying to get the right man. Well, she's collecting breakfast. Breakfasts are not free regardless. Or she's dishing breakfast. It's the same thing. They're not free. They create trauma, you know, that you have to walk through. Now, she said multiple times she's done a lot of work, and she's also a life coach. So I choose to believe her in that respect. Now that you know that she's had 2 failed engagements and 2 failed, what's the other one? She called off 2 weddings and 2 failed engagements. Now that you know, does that make a difference for you? Even for her as an individual, all those failures will create fear. You know, it takes additional amount of a lot more work to get through all of that, because it creates fear. It makes you question yourself, your confidence, and you already know confidence is everything in these conversations. So they are both doing tit for tat, insulting each other small by small. Yes, that's what it becomes. That's why I said you never really have to explain that. You need to, if you're going to be a public figure and this is your reality, you need to find your way to properly deflect without deflecting to other questions. Maybe she's scared. It's real life. This can be scary, you know. Even me, if somebody served me 2 breakfasts, 2 different ways, engagement and weddings, I'll be scared. I'm telling you, I'm a human being. I only have brain like the rest of us, I'll be scared. It will scare anybody. Okay, that's why nobody should be walking around with trauma and not doing the work necessary. But that was some series around Dr. Bryant. Let me ask you guys a question. Should I cover? So I had some other warm-up stories. I can push them tomorrow. You guys decide for me in the chat. If you want me to push them to tomorrow, put the 1 in the chat. If you want me to cover them before I cover the 17 lessons, put a 2 in the chat. You want the 17 lessons, you want me to dive right into that right now, put a 2 in the chat. You want me to push, yeah, I guess, right? You want me to cover the stories before I get into the 17, put a 1 in the chat. Stories, 1 in the chat. Forget stories. Let's get to the lessons for today. Put a 2 in the chat. Yes, yes. Uncle Beno say she called off 2 weddings and 2 engagements. I beg, sister need Jesus and a bottle of wine. Leave her alone. I said leave her alone. You couldn't help yourself, Uncle Beno. You want 17 now? I was confused. Just say 17 now if you want me to cover this. Go into the 17 lessons now. Just put 17 in the chat if you want me to cover the 17 lessons right now. I think Dr. Bryant is solid. Overall, I think she's solid. Based off of the overall that I listened to in the podcast. I definitely do. I'll leave this here so I can make sure I link them for you guys in the description later on. Let's see here. But it just goes to tell you that we all need the work. I keep changing the numbers. You want 1? Push story to tomorrow. 1, Abby. Push story to tomorrow. Okay. All right. I think we should do that. Yeah, let's do that. I think we have a long way to go so that we don't waste too much or make the live stream too long. All right, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Yeah, and if you're watching this as a replay later on, please do let me know your commentaries in the comments. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. All right, everybody. So thank you to everybody who would send their well wishes either in the backstage on our community page for our 17 years anniversary. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, of course, you know me. This is an opportunity to share more and more lessons. There's more and more. So do me a favor. The more you hit the like button, the more people will benefit from this as time goes on. So there are 17 lessons that I've extracted for you guys to cover here today. And but those 17 lessons are basically 17 myths that will be debunked for you today. Okay. I just want you to really think deeply about some of these 17 points and think about them. Don't just process them. Take your time to process them. Now it says 17 shocking lessons in 17 years of marriage as a husband. That means from my standpoint as a husband. I did not discuss this with my wife. This is something I came up with. This is just me personally. This is what I came up with. But this is also my opinion. So ladies, you're going to benefit a lot from this. If you have a husband, a spouse, a partner who is failing in 11 of these 17 points that I'm about to share with you, you are probably struggling in that relationship. Now, if you're not yet married or you don't even have a partner yet, these 17 points are points you want to write down. And if you start to run into problems later on, it's probably because of one of these 17 points. I came up with them because I have personal experiences around them. Yes, and yes, I did run into problems when I was running around town with the myth attached to each one of these. So for each one, I will share the false belief with you, and then I will share my truth. Okay. Now you can choose to borrow the truth and use it for your own self, or just process it and see if you can agree, somehow find a middle ground. Just process it, So, but I want it to be something that you internalize and really understand. You understand the concept behind it. Okay. So ladies, again, you can use this as some kind of assessment. Does my husband pass for this, right? These are just my opinions. You can use them. You can even increase the numbers. You can reduce it. You can discard a few of them. But in my opinion, if a man is failing at 11 of this, failing means it's not aware at all. Okay. Failing does not necessarily mean like he might know this, but he's going through a rough time. Men also struggle in life, right? They might be going through a rough time and they might be quote unquote not up to par with some of this, right? With some of these points I'm about to share with you. But when I say failing, the past is when they're aware of it. The fail is when they're not aware of it, of this particular myth, and the need to debunk them, which becomes the lessons. All right. So with that being said, let's get into it. False belief number one. False belief number one. It's been 17 years. I must have figured everything out. Well, so make that number. It could be 9 years, 7 years, 3 years, right? Or no, actually, we just got married yesterday, but I have common sense, right? So there's nothing else there is to learn. Or, I'm an elderly person, so I figured everything out, right? This is a false belief. Okay? This is a false belief. So as opposed to this is the lesson that I've learned. Every day is a brand new day. People come to me all the time. People might say things like, so you're a marriage coach. So you think you figured it all out? It's like, oh, so you've written books about marriage. So you think you figured it all out? About this thing is evolving, though. No, every day is a brand new day. Well, that's not gender specific. Anyone can borrow that and use that. Every day, your goal is to make every day your best day. All right, you wake up every day, you see that day as an opportunity, and you go after making it the best quality of life ever. All right, so now let's move on. Let's rush through it. I don't want to drag it out. If you have any pause or anything like that, you want to pull me back, feel free to pull me back. False belief number two. My reactions are justified because of how others treat me. You made me do it. It was your fault. If you had not done this yesterday, I wouldn't have done this today. If it wasn't because of the way you talked to me, you were disrespectful. So, this is a false belief system. This is a myth. It never has to be this way. Okay. This honestly, earlier on for me, created a lot of problems for me. Okay. Because honestly, there were a lot of activity that I could point fingers at, that I could be like, you know what? This wasn't who I was. As a matter of fact, I would say she changed me, right? Funny enough, she will say the same thing. She changed me. You changed me. I'm never like this. And then when we make the mistake of taking it to our parents or to some kind of external factor, when the person seems like they're taking sides, right? Yeah, that moment when you feel like that person is taking sides. Yeah, they might say like, no, but Ola is not like that. And then I think, oh, somebody is helping me tell her the truth finally. and I still go home and collect shege regardless, right? Well, they should be checked. Yeah, I know. But here's the lesson that I learned over time. Regardless of what made me do it, regardless of what the weather was, regardless of what sunshine, what snow, whatever was going on that wasn't conducive environment. While those things can be valid, I learned to own my shit. My reactions are my responsibilities. So that's the second lesson that I learned in 17 years. All right. Feel free to slow me down. Okay. Now let's move on to false belief number 3. False belief number 3. Can we move on up to false belief number 3? False belief number 3. I know what she's doing. She's showing me who she is. Right? I know who she is. I've known her for the past 17 years, for me 20 years, right? So I know everything there is to know. This is the wrong angle to approach a marriage. Okay? This type of mindset creates close-mindedness. Close-mindedness is always negative. Either we're talking about, it doesn't matter, even if we're talking about in corporate setting, or we're talking about in personal relationships, and of course, especially inside of marriage. Close-mindedness is the beginning of many people's downfall, right? It's the reason why they make assumptions. It's the reason why people overreact. It's the reason why a lot of people are disappointed. Close-mindedness and expectations, they tend to go hand in hand, right? Expectations comes from, disappointment comes from expectations. Resentment comes from disappointment linked to expectations. False belief. I know what she's doing. She's showing me who she is. She's doing to me. She's intentionally trying to hurt me. The lesson, my truth today, number 3. Again, this could change tomorrow. I don't know why it could change, but it could change. Okay. Truth number 3, 17 years down the line. Avoid making conclusions. Lessons. I learned to avoid making conclusions and taking actions based on assumptions based on the past. Obviously, the further you go into the future, the more experience you have with this person, the more activities, the more experience you're creating, the more you feel like you know this person, you can predict them. Well, predictability is opposite of attraction. So go figure. If you're predictable, they're probably not attracted to you. If they're predictable, you're not attracted to them. In fact, if anything, you resent them. These are some of the things that you need to pay attention to. So what is the solution to this? Again, avoid making conclusions, right? Making conclusions. This will force you to do what? Active listening. This will force you into active listening. Thank you, Chidima. My reactions are my responsibility. Absolutely. So false belief number 4. This was the false beliefs that I had before I learned what I learned that I'm sharing with you right now. So false belief number 4 of 17. It's a belief system. It's a mindset. All of this is a mindset, not necessarily the reality of how things play out. It's a mindset that helps you recreate your biggest fear. Okay. False belief number 4. She needs to be respectful and allow me to lead. Allow me to lead is a curse word phrase here with the Prestige family. They allow me to lead. We just don't, gentlemen, we don't do that. Please don't say that to yourself. Okay. You will literally recreate it. So how do we hold her accountable? By holding yourself accountable. All right. Especially in a romantic relationship. So here's the lesson. This is what I learned. My lesson number 4 from all of this thus far. My lesson number 4. Lesson number 4, I am the man, and in due time, she follows my lead, no matter how things appear right now. So in the short term, things can feel rough. Things can be all over the place, you know. In the short term, things can be all over the place, you know. So it's very, very important to pay attention to some of those things. Again, false belief, she needs to be respectful and allow me to lead. It's a mindset. Of course, she needs to be respectful and allow, I hate the allow to lead. And you should be leading, right? She needs to be respectful and you should be leading. But regardless if she's respectful or not, you should still be leading. So what I learned over the years is I am the man, and in due time, she follows my lead, no matter how things appear right now. So if I trust this simple fact, everything follows through accordingly. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Help me hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're getting value so far, please hit the like button. All right, so let's go to false belief number 5. We have a long way to go. False belief number 5 of 17. Jesus is Lord. All right, false belief number 5. I need to communicate, express myself, and speak the truth always. I know somebody's like, wait, what? What's wrong with that? All right. Yeah. I'll show you. For me, in my experience, this is what was wrong with that. Let me go ahead and just share with you. In my experience, this is what was wrong with that. Okay. Effective communication means listening more and talking less. So I'm actually going to practice what I'm preaching here. I'm actually going to talk less, or unless somebody has a problem with that. Let's keep it moving. False belief number 5. Thank you, Uncle Beno. False belief number 6 of 17. Because I want us to, if possible, finish on time. False belief number 6 of 17. If I'm not constantly contributing, I have no value. If I'm not constantly contributing, I have no value. Okay, so that one, let me see here. Let's see. The reality is that a lot of men feel this and they resent it from a very subconscious place. They need to be used. They need to feel used. But they don't necessarily like to say it that way. They don't like to be abused, right? So it's very, very important to understand this. Now, I think I have a different version of this. Let me see here. There must be a mistake here somewhere. Let me pull this up. Hold on one second, guys. Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. There's a different version of this. I think I put the wrong version there. So let's see. There you go. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. I think I found it. Hold on a second. What are we on? False belief number 6. Okay, false belief number 6. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. Again, a lot of people are complaining that they feel used or feel abused in their relationship, and basically they react from this place. Okay, so we need to be careful with that, gentlemen. We need to be careful with that. The reality is that this is a relationship, and yes, sometimes you will feel used. Okay, but if you stay in that victimhood mindset, it only gets worse. All right, so truth number 6, if I can't be useful enough to be used, I might as well be useless. I can't be abused. So it's a can't. It's a can't. It's not a I don't want to be abused. It's I can't be abused. It's a mindset, okay? It allows you to operate from a masculine place where you're not feeling like a victim all the time. Jum Beyond says, hence the reason some people can't be helped because it's a mindset. It's a mindset. Yes, you need to There's a difference between helping and being a helpmate. There's a difference. As a matter of fact, I just finished a session with a client where we were talking about that. If you're helping a man be a man, it will always backfire. Ladies, if you're helping a man be a man, it will always backfire. Gentlemen, I'm not saying that your wife cannot help you, but imagine if she's trying to help you with your level of ambition. Does that feel good? Imagine she comes home every day and she's always comparing you to other people. You feel like she's comparing you to other people. She feels like you guys should be riding the Range Rover by now, and she's bringing that home to you all the time, right? That's not going to create a good feeling. So it's very, very important. This is all mindset. It doesn't mean you can't help your husband, but if you're noticing that you're feeling drained all the time, in spite of all the help, everything you give up, everything to help him, is probably feeling emasculated. Is it your fault? Either it's your fault or not, it's irrelevant. You should just know that for what it is. So what can you do to help? You can help you find help. You can help yourself find help by helping yourself first. All right, so let's go to false belief number 7. I believe I had a different version of the false belief number 6. I'll see if I have enough time. I'll come back to it. Okay, let's go to false belief number 7 of 17. Okay, all right. False belief number 7. I am not always right, but she's always wrong because I am the man. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I think this one is obvious, right? Chidima says mindset can be changed. The problem is when people are close-minded. Yes, it's the close-mindedness, because all of this needs to be fluid in nature. It's not something to agree to disagree on. It's just something to work with to help you come up with your own rules in life. All right, because honestly, that's how I'm still operating. So I can come back tomorrow, 17.1 years in the marriage, and change my mind on 1 or 2 of this. I can. These are just things I've learned thus far. Now you missed number 6. Truth number 6: if I can't be useful enough to be used. So this is for men that always complain that they feel used. Okay, if you cannot be useful enough to be used, you might as well be useless. You can't be abused. Okay, it's a can't. C-A-N-T, not I don't want to be abused. Change your mindset from I don't want to be abused to I can't be abused. All right. Basically, disengage from the fear of other people abusing you. If you still feel abused, you do feel abused, seek help. Okay. If you feel abused, you're probably, that's your reality. You need to seek help. Okay. Don't stay in an abusive situation, even if you're a man. False belief number 8. Did I cover the truth number? No, I didn't cover truth number 7 yet. Okay. So false belief number 7 is I'm not always right, but she's always wrong because I'm the man. Okay, so most people don't say she's wrong. Okay, most men don't just outrightly say she's wrong. However, they operate like she's wrong. Okay, if I'm right as opposed to what she's saying, that automatically make her wrong. Not only that, she already feels that she's wrong because you're obviously shutting her down. You feel me? You're shutting her down. She can't get a point across. She could be wrong, but you're not going to get a positive result from her feeling like she's shut down all the time. In fact, she's going to bottle up resentment long enough until she fires back, and that doesn't look pretty. Okay? Here's what I learned as opposed to that mindset over the years. Pride complicates my love life 100% of the time, even when I think I am right. I think we know that here for a long time.
You're right.
Right. False belief. This is kind of like piggybacking, but a little bit different on the other one. False belief number 8. False belief number 8. As a man, never listen to a woman. Like, well, I would never say that. Well, there are enough people saying that right now, especially in this social media age. Okay. Now, there's listen and there's listening. There's active listening and there's listening, right? You should always be actively listening to your woman, of course, right? You should always be actively listening to a woman. But obviously, this even point or mindset. Remember, it's not necessarily something you would admit to saying verbatim, but it's a mindset. It might take a little bit of extra self-reflection on your part to agree that you've actually operated from this standpoint. Okay, if you're not willing to self-reflect on this, you see your life. That's exactly what I'm saying. All right, gentlemen, stay with me. Hang out with me. I'm your brother. Okay, walk with me here. It's not stuff that you necessarily admit to. All right, but you probably have been accused of this at some point. And again, I'm speaking just my own experience. Okay, as a man, never listen to a woman. Here's what I learned. Number 8 of 17. What I learned in the last 17 years is if I don't break the cycle, pride will create a vicious loop of anger in my marriage. That's literally just pride walking in your marriage. And my opinion, the number one thing that's destroying marriage is pride. It's a competition between pride and unrealistic expectation. But I think pride is like 0.5 over unrealistic expectations. Because why would a person not feel like they have unrealistic expectations? Because of pride. So pride is a root cause of that too. So pride, number one. And pride often shows up in very sneaky ways. You're a good guy. The question is never if you're a good guy or not. Okay. In fact, everybody else outside of your wife will say, no, that guy is a good guy. So your wife even feel worse because nobody will ever see her point of view. But you have a superpower in your hands. You can starting now, say, why does she keep saying that? Like, without making it, she's just wrong. Just be curious, just out of curiosity. Why does she keep saying that? If you just, what does it require to be able to come to that space to say, why does she keep saying that? Well, yeah, we have to tell pride to go somewhere, sit down for a second, right? It's not absolutely unhealthy to have pride, to have a sense of pride of yourself. But in a relationship where your partner feels like you never listen, obviously that's a negative. Okay? That's a negative. False belief number 9. False belief number 9. I need to be in control of everything in marriage. Now, as a man, it's typically a natural place for you to be. It's your mindset. Of course, you want to make sure that everybody is good, right? But oftentimes that's lacking emotional intelligence. Oftentimes you don't think emotions need to be taken care of within that same context. So truth number 9, this is what I learned. Number 9 of 17 of the last 17 years. Let me see here. Okay, there's some typos here. Let me go find the real one. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. I have some typo stuff going on here. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. I do have some typographical error going on here. Let's see. What number are we on? Number 9? Number 9, right? Oh, okay. I think it's still on point. There's no typos. See? My eyes focused on everything else, but the need and the can't. All right. So false belief number 9. I need to be in control of everything in my marriage. Here's what I learned. I can't control everything, but I can control enough to win in love and life. You cannot control everything. In fact, you shouldn't be trying to control everything. It's a loser's battle. It's a loser strategy. Okay? It's a loser strategy to try to control everything. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. How do I know? Just look at your results. If it's working, you've been paying attention to this one way, shape, or form or the other. Okay. You know the funny thing, Chinye, I'm a control freak. So I had to learn the hard way. I wanted to see everything. It drives you insane. I feel you. I feel your pain on that. False belief number 10 of 17. If you can't control your wife, you are a weak man. Gentlemen, why are you doing this to yourself? Do you not think you deserve soft life too? Don't you think you deserve soft life too? This false belief is a mindset, as always, will it work? Here's what I learned in the last 17 years. Here's 10th lesson of 17 lessons that I've chosen to share with you. I can't control my wife, but I can choose to control myself and effectively influence her. Truth number 10, my personal truth number 10, what I learned over the last 17 years. I can't control my wife, but I can choose to control myself and effectively influence her. Not only is this the magic, it works better. Because don't tell her, she thinks everything is her idea. She thinks it's her own idea. Shh, don't tell her. Okay. Your wife was like, nah, and dragged your blockers. I'm glad you learned. Don't tell her. Anyway, let's keep going. How far are we? False belief number 11. Ladies, these things, many of these are not gender specific. Many of them are not gender specific. I just happen to be talking to my brothers today. Okay, you can take many of these and use. Plus, also, you can use this as your gauging barometer to see if a man is where he needs to be to help you thrive in your femininity. If a man feels 11 of these, particularly from a place of awareness, you are probably operating from your masculine energy for the most part. You can't feel safe. So, all right. False belief number 11. How far are we? Number 11 of 17. As a victim of my wife, society will forgive me if I hold her accountable. Right? Well, again, it's not necessarily said in words, but a lot of men are operating from this standpoint. They're actively taking themselves and effectively their wife for granted. So they think they can continue to get away with this. There's only so far you can get away with this. So I know that society will forgive you. But let me tell you something. You're creating damages in that relationship, in that marriage. It's only a matter of time before you break something. Okay? As a victim of my wife. Nobody ever, most times people don't just say I'm a victim of my wife, okay? But they might use sentences, other sentence structures that essentially say they are being the victim. And now it's time for you to, pity them, sympathize with them. So they don't ask for sympathy, but their actions is essentially asking for sympathy. There's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Empathy is always necessary because empathy actually helps you to serve, okay? To serve better, to serve the other person better. Sympathy, not necessarily. Sympathy is like, oh, right? But you can't really help them, all right? Truth number 11 that I learned over the last 17 years, 11 of 17 lessons that I learned over the last 17 years. I might have been a victim. I'm actually having a hard time agreeing that I'm ever a victim. That's why I say I might have been. Because in all of this, they are not exactly innocent too. They're not exactly innocent. That's not what I'm saying here at all. All I'm trying to do, gentlemen, is help you engage your power, as always. Okay? I might have been a victim, but now I'm a survivor. And as a man, I have access to my power. It's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift from being a victim, okay, and then operating from a place that you think she's always going to be there, right? Meaning no sense of gratitude in your assessment at all, because the only thing you can see is everything she's doing wrong, right? Naturally so. We're just trying to elevate you above natural because you're not an animal, you are a higher animal. So we're trying to get you to another level. So I've changed my mindset over the years to I might have been a victim, so that so some people might say, oh no, you were a victim, she should be held accountable. Good for you. But for me, my power is much more important to me than the label of me being a victim. Okay, so I'm a survivor. Okay, at least, at most. Okay, all right. Let's see. The statement started with solutions and ended with the problem, hence it will always be a roadblock. Innocentina. Oh, Bernie. Yes, we are innocent. Okay, if you say so. Okay. As a victim of my wife reminds me of the uncle in red shirt. He popped the balloon. He kept asking the woman who say he talked too much, why are they not reacting to the woman that triggered him? Yes, and I think probably number one also was speaking to that. In fact, let's see how far back we are. Make sure that I think I had because I would like to do a recap if we have enough time. Would like to make sure I favorite the ones that I've posted before. Okay, all right. To number 3, we should start from 3. Hit the like button. No, hit the like button. No. If you think other people should see this, hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, there you go. Let me favorite this. Let me favorite this. Let me favorite number 5. Let me favorite number 5. 5, 6. Thank God I remember this. 7. 8. Yep. 9. I think we're up to 11 already, right? 10. 11. Okay, how far are we? Okay, yes, we're up to speed now. You said we're not. I know you said yes, we're not. Oh, you said we're not innocent. Oh yeah, not innocent. Double. Oh, okay, yeah, double negative. Okay, yeah, that means. Okay, all right. I'm with you. Yes, you're not innocent. All right. Let's get on to number 12. Definitely, there's no side that's innocent when it comes to romantic relationships, which is what most people engage. Most people engage the innocent and guilty aspect of things. That's literally where they get stuck, which is why many people just get stuck, because they're focused on what they don't want, and obviously that makes them struggle to get to what they actually want, because there's only so much space in your brain, in your mind, in your subconscious mind. There's only so much space. There's only so much energy that you have. False belief number 12. I owe so much to the parents who gave me everything, and my wife is a bad devil if she tries to get in the way of me taking care of them. Voila. I've gone through this before personally. That's why I can relate. So here's what I learned over time. Okay, listen. All those people that want to talk about all the extremes of things that happen inside of marriage, like somebody buys somebody inside of a marriage and stuff like that, you see, I have a hard time engaging them, because if I don't have experience with such things, God forbid bad thing, I know if we speak to him now, right? The only way I can help is if you are a survivor. Sometimes it can be a struggle to start the rest of your life. We can help you change, start to renew your mind and see the best about life. We can help you in that respect. But if you are stuck inside the worst of the worst stories that marriage has to present, it gets more difficult for you to get out. Okay, so that's false belief number 12. I owe so much to my parents. Again, some of these false beliefs are not necessarily lies on paper, right? But it's a mindset that's going to help you create more calamity inside of your marriage, right? Here's what I learned over time. If I ever have to choose, that's if I ever, okay? By the way, this new mindset puts me in a position where I never have to choose anymore. Go figure. You see that? Did you see that coming? You never see them. Okay. You never expected it. It's all right. It's all right. But here's what I learned. Oh, I need to be favoriting them as we go. Okay. What I learned is if I have to choose, I must always prioritize the family I created over the family I came from. This is non-negotiable. How do I know it's not negotiable? Well, I'm speaking 17 years later. Well, from my experience, just this mindset shift puts me in a position where I never have to choose anymore. If there's a way that it aligns everything where I just never have to choose again. As a matter of fact, I now have to compete with affection towards her from my parents with me, because now they are giving her that same affection, right? I never have to compete. I'm just saying, right? Sometimes I'm just like, hello, I'm here, but they're checking on her first before they check on me. Your focus is not focusing. Focus on the right thing. There's some things that create downstream effect of exactly what you want. But like Beyond Brains was saying, if you start with the problem, it's more, you're not even going to get to the solution. Okay? Because the problems are obsessive in nature. Because remember, you're the one feeling them. These are things that are feeling like you're being abused. So you're obsessed with fighting back, being defensive, right? So it takes work to actually get you disengage you from that. Letting go is very hard. It's very hard. But that's precisely what you're going to need to do at some point. So the sooner we know that, the easier it is to start walking in that direction. You're going to need to let go of a lot more than you probably realize. So false belief number 13, reacting quickly and passionately to anything that smells like disrespect shows strength, stoicism, and masculinity. All right, so it's not said in words, but the actions. You need to self-reflect to see yourself in this as a man. But in actions, you might start to see like, did I learn somewhere that I need to put my feet down, right? Is somebody been telling me indirectly that I don't have control of my wife? So I now feel the need to put my feet down and show them that I'm still the man. Do you feel the need to reintroduce yourself all the time as the husband, like Dr. Apoki said? Right? It's a sign that you're not sure of yourself. Okay? And that's precisely what you need to work on. So here's what I learned over time. The patience I practice in my interactions, in every interaction, benefits me. I don't gain anything from overreacting. I said like zero. So now the question is, are you willing to admit that you overreact sometimes? Or maybe all the times? Maybe just sometimes, okay? Or at any time at all? Sometimes, maybe, once in a while, maybe, right? Are you willing to admit to that? Because if you can't admit to that, we all overreact sometimes, all of us. It's either fight or flight. It's either you're running from your problems or you are engaging it with more confrontation. It's one of the two. But we all overreact in one shape, form, or the other. All right. So maybe that makes it easier to reflect and say, yeah, maybe sometimes, guess what? I forget her for a second. I don't gain anything from overreacting. The patience I practice is actually for myself, right? It's actually for myself. This is my shift in mindset over the past 17 years that has made my life super easier. My wife and I go 4 to 6 months without any argument, right? for some of you, you've made assumptions that it must be that somebody is the doormat and somebody is walking all over them. Let's check. Right? You've made that assumption, but it's okay. It's natural. That's probably because you are making that assumption from your own experience. I understand, but it doesn't have to be that way. Some people also believe that they need to be toxic before they can enjoy the relationship. It's not true. It's not true. That's, again, you're only speaking from what you know, but you know that it doesn't feel good. You know something has to change, right? Jim said, Dr. Apoki is my new online friend. My husband take every number so far. Yeah, I'm not innocent. It took every number as in like he passed or he failed. Or you talk about the false beliefs. Yeah. Welcome, gracious greatness. Good to see you, bro. False belief number 13. False belief number 13. Hold on one second. All right. False belief number 14. You've heard some of this here before. I know you've heard this if you've been around. Good intentions and character are enough to succeed in marriage. You never see anything yet.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Yeah. I challenge you. I challenge you to go to the courthouse in your jurisdiction, the family courthouse, right? Around like 8, 9, depending on the time that they handle their cases over there. I don't know, because I don't know, right? But go there and just interview some, like, hey, what kind of case are you here for? You know, be respectful, like, oh, I'm here for, oh, okay. Would you say you were a good or a bad person inside of your marriage? Just ask all of them. Just ask everybody, right? Does that mean they're actually good or bad? No, it doesn't mean. But the point is that everybody thinks they are good. Everybody thinks they are good. So, and to get two cancels out 2. That means it's irrelevant. Okay. Did you say he failed? Oh, so sorry to hear that. Most men will fail most of this. Okay. I don't care how many premarital counseling they've gone through. Most men, not just young men, will fail all of this. Now, the era we're coming from, as in 30, 40 years ago, you can pull a marriage through a lot of this, you know, just because, you know, everybody's just, there's no social media, there's no, there's women having their own autonomy. It's not really a highlighted fact, you know, so, but this day is going to fail. And we're seeing many of them. You're seeing people filing for divorce 39 years into the marriage. We didn't cover that today. We'll cover that tomorrow. So, and you're like, oh, they're just modern women. They have been learning from the wrong people. Our people are forgetting their culture. What do you mean by culture? Do you know how to define culture? Define culture. What culture are you talking about? 1807 culture or 1966? I don't know. Oh, no. Tell me, which one of them? Is it the 1807 one or 1966? Because those two cultures are actually different too. Because it's a moving target, right? So which one of the culture? There's no way you could be talking about 2024 culture. Could it be? So we should just be losing ourselves into this, like, all of that is irrelevant. Okay, that's the point I'm making here. All of that is irrelevant. But we're talking about false belief number 14. Good intentions and character are enough to succeed in marriage. Anyway, this is what I learned over time. Of course, you should have good intentions and character. Of course, you should. Everybody should have that. That's bare minimum, though. That's bare minimum. Here's what I learned. No matter how intentional I am in marriage, without emotional intelligence, it will fail. You see all this Oyibo stuff. All this Oyibo stuff, you see? Yeah, I know. but you will still need to calm down, be patient with yourself, and learn how they work. If you want a healthy relationship back with your wife or husband. Anyway, yup. Let's see. No, Abby, define culture now. Chinye, you get me. Hopefully, the rest of the people get me. Let's go to false belief number 15. Let's go to false belief number 15. Before I go to false belief number 15, Uncle Bendo, drop a question here. Are you saying it's irrelevant in 2024, asking for a friend? No. Thank you for that question. Not that culture, we covered this with the other topic the other day. Not that culture is irrelevant in 2024. It's that if 1807 culture is relevant in 2024, culture is relevant in 2024, of course, right? But it's 1807 or some aspects of culture of 1807, are they relevant in 1966? 1807 to 1966 is about 60 years later. 60 years later, is every aspect of whatever is defined as culture relevant, or has it evolved or devolved? Some people like to say, oh, it's not evolving, it's devolving. I said, clap for yourself. Good. As it changed is the point. As it's kind of transformed into other forms. Now, all this transformation, are you paying attention to it? I mean, we should let me just pretend like it's the same culture. No, we don't ever say it like that. But sometimes our argument is essentially saying culture is culture. It stays the same, right? We also use religion to perpetuate that point sometimes. Context ni koko nubokini, our culture is beautiful in so many ways, but with respect to marriage, has it evolved? Yes, absolutely. Yes. So in what ways exactly? That's another topic. You need to pay attention to that, right? So let's go to false belief number 15. My friends and family tell me that my wife is out of control. All right, so we don't say this out loud. We generally don't say it out loud, but sometimes we're listening to other people's standard of what a wife is supposed to be, and then we start comparing our own to it. Okay? So we're listening to it. Sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's not direct, right? When it comes to our family, it depends on how much you guys have dragged yourselves in the mud with your own family. Let me tell you something. It's not just you. We've all done it. Somebody's like, no, I've never done it. I always know that. Clap for yourself. Me and you, we've all done it. Where we drag our partner wutu, directly or indirectly in front of our family, extended family, or friends. Sometimes it's banterish. We don't necessarily pay attention to that. It has an effect, right? Sometimes it's in like you're just seeking advice or counsel, and they advise you, but the way you receive the advice is like it makes you feel completely less than. It was supposed to help you, but you didn't feel right after it, right? Sometimes you've forgotten that event that went past from like 6 months ago, but your friends and family, they are stuck on the negatives. What they tend to remember is the negatives about your partner, right? Here is what helped me over the years, where I never have to do that again. All right. And it also helped me in facilitating my wife not having to do that again. All right. Oftentimes, you just want people to agree with that, the fact that you're not crazy. Like, you're not just crazy. Like, you know what you're trying to say. Is it just me? Right? Like, isn't that what women are supposed to do? Just respect your husband. Jesus Christ. Right? And you feel, and you're not too sure of this, that you feel the need. Right? to ask other people, right? Who's the closest people you're going to ask? That's the person I'm talking about. It might be a friend, a colleague, or something like that. But this is what helped me, okay? Any disrespect shown to my wife, this is what I learned about last. Any disrespect shown to my wife, even by me, is ultimately a disrespect to myself. It's the direct result of my lack of self-respect. Again, it's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift. All right. When you adjust, you will enjoy this thing. Okay. When you realize that you deserve soft life, you will go back and start reading through this stuff. You will adjust accordingly. All right. So it's just seeing her as you. So even if she seems like she's wrong right now, you own your shit. You take ownership of responsibility until she's right. That helps you in how you address issues with her. And you naturally will not overreact because you're seeing that is she's wrong. Okay, I'm not getting something right. Right? It just helps your approach to issues, to conflict, right? It helps your approach. It helped my approach to issues. So if my wife is saying gibberish, right, quote unquote rubbish, or right, I see that that's me. Why am I saying rubbish? Not obviously not literally, but I'm saying like this rubbish in our situation. I need to clean that out. I take responsibility in that. So it helps my approach to the issues, right? It also helps me with having patience for myself, because if it's me that's saying rubbish, what I'll do is I'll calm down and then say the right thing, right? So if my wife is saying what I consider to be rubbish or nonsense or something like that, instead of me saying you're not making sense, I will lean in with active listening and I will assume she's coming from a place that I can't see yet, right? So that helps me with patience. It's a shift in mindset. So truth number 15, any disrespect shown to my wife, even by me, is ultimately a disrespect to myself. It's the direct result of my lack of self-respect. And it's not a crime to have lack of self-respect. It might just be a space where you are in life. Maybe you're feeling less than, maybe you're feeling like you're not moving fast enough in career, and you're just feeling depressed. At least you're self-aware and you can seek help when necessary. So it's not a crime to have insecurities. It's not a crime to have low self-respect. It's not a crime. It's no condition is permanent, right? You can change that. But changing that starts with self-awareness, all right? Toby and Try say, relationship is painful. Unhealthy relationships are painful. I'll tell you that much. Relationships are the inevitable. You will engage in them, one shape, form, or the other. So we better get this right, Toby and Tribe. I wish a lot of men understood this fact that disrespect to your wife is disrespect to you. Yeah, so if you say it on the surface, a natural man mind is kicking right back against like, what gibberish are you talking about? Women need to be held accountable. Serious, point blank, period. That's it. That's right. But, my explanation that I just did, which I don't want to explain tired, right? It's necessary to get a typical man to get to that space, right? So let's keep going. I think we are at what? Number 15. We just did 15. Let me make sure I favorite the other one so I can do proper recap. There you go. I did. Let's do this. Okay, perfect. All right, let's go to number 16. If you really got some value from this, you need to help me. Not you don't need to. Help me grab a link of this video and share it to 3 WhatsApp groups that you're a part of after the show. Okay? Help me share it. Help me share it. If you got some value from it, that's the biggest favor you can do for me today once we're done with the show. False belief number 16 of 17. We're almost done. We're right on time. Thank God I didn't go into the other stories. False belief number 16. I already know what my wife is going to say because she talks and nags too much. So she should just shut up and listen to me as the husband. Okay, again, most men, there are a minority of men that will actually say this out. if they ever say it, is because they're upset and they're angry. Maybe you're angry with each other and they are looking to hit below the belt because when they hit below the belt, right? But typically on a normal day, Nawosa level, it's hard to admit that you've done this, right? Or you are quick to say, I was just upset, right? Well, anything you do while you're upset becomes resentment. It to bite you in the butt if you don't resolve it. Just FYI. Because they don't forget anything. No, they don't. Especially if they were pregnant when you did it. Okay, they don't forget anything. Just so you know. Okay. Here's what I learned over the last 17 years with respect to this false belief. All right. This is going to trigger a lot of men. Truth number 16. This is what I learned. I have nothing to say until I fully listen to my wife without bias from past issues. Not fully listened, but more so when she shows that she feels fully heard. All right. It's a lot there. Okay. Even me, when she's saying things that I don't necessarily agree with, like every other microsecond I'm triggered. Like I need to correct this right now because let's just say the fact for fact. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's not sugarcoat anything. I really want to do that, and oftentimes I've failed at and actually interjecting before she gets her thoughts out. Guess what? Every time I interject, we have to start from ground zero. The issues are not going to get resolved unless she feels fully heard. Now, fully heard is not necessarily that it's not necessarily that we iron out every issue in the last, for example, 17 years. That's not necessarily what it means. Oftentimes, but if she has like 200 issues, by the time we get through, not 200 issues, that's crazy, but let's say 10 issues, right? By the time we get through one, if she feels fully heard by 1.5, oftentimes we don't need to address the rest of them anymore. Secret. Gentlemen, that's the secret. Okay. But here's the tricky part, right? When she's talking about the first one, in the midst of talking about the first one, she's going to trigger you about 3 to 5 times. Each one of those triggers needs a response. It needs a correction, to be precise. If you bite, you don't go finish them. So if you don't finish it, what ends up happening? You end up with an active argument. People are upset. One person wants to go to bed. The other person said we should never go to bed with issues. And it's just toxic, right? But if you can make it through the first one, by the time you're making through the 0.51, it's like, okay, just leave me alone, right? Okay, all right. Right? Like she will multiply it into grace, a bunch of grace. So the point here is this, okay? The method I've used is I have nothing to say until I fully listen. Have I ever fully listened before? No, it's never really happened because she never needs to keep talking. She just needs to feel heard. Not that I feel like I've listened. Not that. She needs to feel heard. Some people might interpret this as you're brushing issues under the rug. Welcome to the real world. Many issues will literally dissolve into thin hair. Yes, thin hair. And you will never have to address them. Why? Because you have emotional intelligence. You're a student of emotional intelligence. So that's truth number 16 that I learned. I have nothing to say. I still make this mistake sometimes. That's what I'm telling you. But every time I pass this, it's not really, So are you brother? There's some issues that are major, not major, but like they're important. They must be ironed out. It still requires me to fully listen to what she's saying before. I need to hear where she's coming from, not just what she's saying. I need to hear everything. Like, where is this coming from? Sometimes this is coming from years ago, from her past trauma. No, you don't need to be her psychologist. That's not what I'm asking you to do. All I'm telling you to engage your own soft life, relax. It's probably It might be. It's probably not about you, is the point. Relax. Just be a quick shoulder to cry on from time to time, and then your life is a lot more easier. That's truth number 16 of 17. Are we doing a little over time? I think we are. Okay, this is the last, but definitely not the least. 17, finale of the finale. 17 of 17 lessons I learned over the last 17 years in marriage. All right. Okay, I guess we can take a little break. Hold on one second. Jim says, especially when they are pregnant. Fact. It's a fact. I've never been pregnant before. How did I know? Okay, I guess 17 years is nobody's mate at the end of the day. Let's see. Gracious Greatness with the 10 pounds said, things don't change. Oh, I'm not sure that I want soft life. Oh, me, I want balances. Life, I still want to be Spartan warrior clan. So that if one weary fell on, try him and go destroy him. Listen, here's what I always tell people. First of all, let's dance before I address that. Okay. All right. Welcome back. Hit the like button. Thank you for the 10 pounds. It goes a long way. I appreciate you, brother. All right, so now let's address this. Things have changed, right? Things have changed, and you're not sure if you want soft life or you want balances. Yeah, I like that you say you're not sure. Balances is exactly what you create when you fully comprehend everything I shared in this 17. Balance is what you create. Remember, first of all, that they're not innocent. They're not innocent, okay? Well, obviously, we're not innocent. So, remember, if you want to start a whole marriage with basketballs, if it works for you, it works for you. Just keep in mind that the definition of it works for you means it's also working for your partner, you know. If it works for you, it works for you. For me, what has created balances, because I like balance too, right? What has created a very well balanced life for me is to make sure I know what I'm addressing before I try to address it. That's the whole point of active listening. Active listening is actually for your own good. So you don't start sounding like rubbish to other people. That's the whole point. Active listening is for your own good. All of this is for self. Right now, you will also influence, especially if you're the man, you will influence what you are. You know, women can't help themselves. They literally start completing your sentences when they feel safe and secure. That's literally what they do. Ola, you are generalizing. Yes, take it to the bank. Okay, they literally start finishing your sentences. If you don't believe me, ask your wife's pastor. If you don't believe me, just ask your wife's pastor. You think it's the juju that the pastor is doing? Okay, all right. It's because that pastor knows how to hit your wife's nerves. Okay? They know how to touch them at an emotional level. That's why. Okay. False belief number 17. Shout out to the 10 pounds. I appreciate you, bro. I can't be held accountable for everything. My wife must be held accountable for her faults too. It's like Gracious Greatness was reading my mind. Let's create some balance. Why should I be held accountable for everything? Well, here's what I've learned over the last 17 years. As the leader, not everything is my fault. That's a fact of life. That is a fact of life. I don't need to explain myself on that one. I don't need to do any type of shalaye around that.
Explain, because no evidence.
If I have to explain that everything is not my fault, you're probably not an accountable person. That's why you're doing that. Again, remember, it's still fact that nothing is not your fault. But if you have to explain that, anyway, the false belief is as the leader. It's a mindset as the leader, right? We're switching it now, right? But I've learned that not everything is my fault, but the overall experience in my marriage is 100% my responsibility. That's my superpower. Of course, the last thing I want anybody to do is take that away from me. That's my superpower. That's my superpower. "17 of 17 lessons from the last 17 years of marriage." I discovered most of this at about the 8 to 11 year mark. Yeah, that's about that time frame. That's when I discovered them. It takes experience. Most men would disagree with all of this, many of this, until they collect shege. They need to collect shege first. It's okay, that's fine. Afterwards, experience is still the best teacher, right? Okay. Many men will never learn this. They will have to lose their family first. Not only will they lose their family, they will tell you, it's okay, I don't care. I don't care if I lose a family.
Don't care, still don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. So Chidima said, so you don't want drizzle. Listen, experience. Just go through it first. Unpack it. I would definitely take notes. Don't necessarily agree with them, but just take notes. Try everything else. Try the false beliefs first, and then if you don't work, if God give you another day, then you try my method. But it's been working for me. If what you've been doing have been working for you, you don't have to change anything. I mean that when I say that. If what you have been doing, if they have been working for you, you don't have to change anything. I mean that wholeheartedly. Listen, we're not a mono. What do you call it? A mono something. No, we're all different. We're all unique beings. So you might have figured out other way that something is working for you. Maybe your own wife is very intentional and they're just always innocent. They walk a straight line, FBI, feminine, beautiful, and inspirational, right? Maybe. And it's you don't have to take the credit. You made a good selection. It's working for you. Keep working at it. But if it's not working, then you might want to try something else. Let's see. Uncle Bello, what did you say? Sorry, let me go back to you. He said, in a nutshell, see nothing, say nothing. No, absolutely not. Don't do that. Don't see nothing, say nothing. Say something. Just make sure you understand what you're saying something to. Listen first before you talk. That's what that is. You should say something. You will resent yourself if you don't ever say anything. You will resent yourself. Monolith. Thank you, Jerry. Yes, we're not the monolith. So you might just find other things that work for you. But out of 17 points, if you disagree with more than 11 of this, I guarantee I put my monthly livelihood on it. Let me know. Hit me behind the scenes. You're struggling in that marriage. It's a guarantee. Okay? At least I can bet my monthly livelihood on it. You're struggling in it. Okay? If you disagree with at least 11 of this 17, disagree. Any man who have any level of experience might even still struggle, but they agree. They say, that's why you get songs like Sula Fishoko burning. Right? That's how you keep your household together. That's how I've kept my household together. Right? Now, what is she responsible for? You know what I can do? I can try to help you ladies. Okay? What do you guys think, ladies? Do you want me to get her to come up with her own 17 lessons that she's learned in 17 years? Would that be something that you guys want to see? If that's true, put a 1 in the chat. She's going to bite me for this. But if you want to see that, 17 lessons, shocking lessons, we'll take it to Lola and Lola platform though. 17 shocking lessons that she's learned out of 17 years of marriage. Because I know this whole session sound like I was just being a macho man and I'm just a masculine man and I figured it all out. Then that means you missed one of the lessons, because I said there's nothing like just one day at a time. That was like the first thing. So put a 1 in the chat if you want to see that. Let's do a quick recap though. False belief number 1: it's been 17 years, I must have figured everything out. See my life? No, absolutely not. What I learned is that every day is a brand new day. I listen. That allows me to listen as opposed to making assumptions off of typically the last bad experience. Okay. False belief number 2: my reactions are justified because of how others treat me. Okay. Truth number 2: I own my shit. It's not about how they treat me. My reactions are my responsibility. My responsibilities, rather, right? I guess, yeah, consists my responsibility, yeah. Let's go. Let's keep going. False belief number 3 of 17: I know what she's doing. She's shown me who she is. I know what she's up to. She's shown me who she is. What I learned is that I avoid making conclusions. What I've learned is to avoid making conclusions and taking actions based on assumptions based on the past. False belief number 4: she needs to be respectful and allow me to lead. Of course, she should be respectful. Of course, she should be respectful. Allow me to lead is a cuss word. No. I choose that I lead, not her. I choose to lead. She doesn't allow or not allow. But anyway, what I've learned is that I'm the man, and in due time, she follows my lead. If I engage with basketballs, she follows the lead. Right? No matter how things appear right now. Yes, in the short term, it might look rough. You might have tried it and you feel like it doesn't work, Gary. You need to be consistent. Anyway, false belief number 5: I need to communicate, express myself, and speak the truth always. Here's what I've learned over the last 17 years. Effective communication means listening more and talking less. Still talking, but talking less. Okay. Hold on 1 second. All right, false belief number 6: I'm not constantly contributing. I have no value, or I feel used. I feel like our family are using me, all this kind of stuff. Truth number 6: if I can't be useful enough to be used, I might as well be useless. I can't be abused. That's just a fact. I have to allow that before it can happen. False belief number 7: I am not always right, but she's always wrong. Because I'm the man. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If you tend to say right is right, wrong is wrong, particularly with your marriage issues. Sorry, brothers. I didn't want to do this today, but you go collect.
Sorry.
Yeah, you go collect. I'm sorry. All right, here's what I've learned. Pride complicates my love life 100% of the time, even when I think I'm right. You notice the I think I'm right part? It's right and wrong is irrelevant. Okay, it's just irrelevant. You don't believe me? Look at the results you're creating. False belief number 8: as a man, never listen to a woman. What I've learned over time, if I don't break the cycle of this pride thing, pride will completely eat up the marriage, will create the vicious loop of anger in my marriage. In other words, she will also participate in the behavior you created. Remember, she's always following your lead. She's always following my lead. At least that's what I believe. False belief number 9: I need to be in control of everything in my marriage. Truth that I learned over the last 17 years. I can't control everything, but I can control enough to win in love and life. More than enough, as a matter of fact. False belief number 10: if you can't control your wife, you're a weak man. Okay, first of all, what I learned over the last 17 years is I can't control my wife, but I can choose to control myself. okay, and effectively influence her. What that looks like, by the way, to other people is that I can control my wife, especially my family. It looks like I can control my wife. That's what it looks like to them. As long as we're winning, as long as I'm winning, that's all that matters, right? Most people will be stuck arguing with their destiny. It's okay. It's all right. To each his own. False belief 11. As a victim of my wife, society will forgive me if I hold her accountable. Just hold her accountable. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Anyway, what I learned, number 11th of 17th, is I might have been a victim because she's not innocent. No, she is not innocent. Of course not. I might have been a victim, but now I'm a survivor, and as a man, I have access to my power. Even me, I'm introducing myself as a man, like Dr. Akpoki said, right? But not to her. The point, not to her. This is my own me time. Remember, I like soft life too, so I have me times. Yeah, there you go. False belief number 12. I owe so much to the parents who gave me everything, and my wife is a bad devil if she tries to get in the way of me talking or taking care of them, rather. By the way, ladies, this is not gender specific. It's not gender specific. So keep that at the back of your mind. What I learned over the last 17 years, if I ever have to choose, this is non-negotiable. I must always prioritize the family I created over the family I came from. This is non-negotiable. Why? Why would you make it such a rigid thing, right? Because it creates a wife who will not try to get in the way of remember, she follows my lead, right? She's trying to compete with me, right, in keeping our family first, right? So she knows how to do that, but this creates a synergy where nothing can enter, right? And everybody, they naturally just respect that. The last thing they ever want to do is come in between that. Just trust me on that, okay? Same thing with your children. Remember, we talked about putting your children above your spouse. Same thing. Last thing they ever want to do is come between mommy and daddy because they don't want to disappoint both of them at the same time. But let me guess, you rather just put them first. If it's working for you, please keep doing it. Thank you. False belief number 13. Reacting quickly and passionately to anything that smells like disrespect shows strength, stoicism, and masculinity. That's false. The truth I've learned over time is the patience I practice in every interaction benefits me. I don't gain anything from overreacting. And many people call that maintaining your masculine frame, okay? Maintain frame. Masculinity is nothing physical, okay? It's nothing physical when it comes to humans, okay? Not in the context of relationship, at least. You might look masculine because you can stomp somebody's head physically. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about here, okay? There are many people like that gets dumped from time to time. In fact, many of them, the reason why they enter gym is because they've been dumped multiple times. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry if that hit the nerve. False belief number 14. Good intentions and character are enough to succeed in marriage. He say what? What you mean?
He shock you.
Okay. All right, that's false belief number 14 right there. Where is I can't find what I learned for number 14. I can't find it. I have to go and lift it again. What I've learned over time, let me post it. What I've learned, I'll post it here for you guys. Let's see. No matter how intentional I am in marriage, without emotional intelligence, it will fail. That's what I've learned. Okay, let's go to number 15. We're just doing a recap. That's all, a recap. My friends and family tell me that my wife is out of control, or they insinuate it, or I don't feel secure about how they see my partner, right? My wife. In this case, I'm talking as a husband. I don't feel secure about how they see my wife. Okay, this is all you have to do to worry about this again. First of all, what they think in short term doesn't matter. It's what matters is long run. What they think in long run, of course, that matters because that will continue to mess with you. But in the short term, it doesn't matter because again, when you're starting this married thing, your family, your friends, they're trying to protect you, so all this kind of stuff. And then you might have some rigid false beliefs that you need to break yourself, like this 17. Here's what I learned. I learned that any disrespect to my wife, even by me, forget the rest of them, even by me, is ultimately a disrespect to myself, even when I'm right. Even when I know that I'm right, I know that I'm right. If I disrespect her because she's wrong, that's a disrespect to me. Okay? And is the direct result of my lack of self-respect. Because if I had self-respect, I would approach the issue in a different way. Whatever the issue is, including what is being said or my fear about what is being said about her outside, is something to pay attention to. Okay? Reason why this became an issue is because, like me, many of my clients today, their issues is what other people think of their spouse. I know, right? Lord have mercy. Anyway, false belief number 16. I already know what my wife is going to say because she talks and nags too much. So she should just shut up and listen to me as the husband. Okay, you might not say this out loud, but this is probably how you feel. Either way, this is what I've learned. I have nothing to say until I fully listen to my wife without bias from past issues. Here's the part. I have nothing to say until, right? So there's an ultimatum here on all this whole thing. Okay, it's not that you should never say anything, but you should have attempted, at least try to fully listen to where she's coming from, right? Not fully listen to, let's put that in quotes, not even fully listen, but more so when she demonstrates that she feels fully heard. And I told you guys the secret earlier on. I told you that if there are 10 issues, by the time she addresses one, if you allow her to get it out, you will notice that you will barely get through the second half of the second one of 10 issues. It won't be necessary anymore. She already got what she wanted. She just needs someone to hear where she's coming from. This is typical. There are some people with extra super coconut head out there. It's probably not your wife. How do I know? Because you have to try it first before you realize if it's your wife or not. All right, so false belief number 17 of 17. I can't be held accountable for everything. Everything is not my fault. My wife must be held accountable for her fault too, so we can create balance, like Gracious Greatness said. Right? Here's what I learned. No matter how intentional I am in marriage, without emotional intelligence, it will fail. It will fail. It will fail. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let me use the last 3 minutes to get through some of this. All right. Gracious students, okay, I should just shut up then. Yes, you should, probably. I still have a question to ask. Go ask now, Kubeno. Ask on. In fact, just in case you want to, if you have the time, feel free. I'm dropping the link. I think I can borrow another 30 minutes. I dropped the link. I agree to 15 out of 17. Nice. That's not bad. You're a married man for the last, 15, 16 years, Uncle Beno? Go figure. Does that make sense? It makes sense, right? And what counts is that you're married today, by the way. What is you're married today, right now, and you're happily married today. Never mind the last 15 years either. No matter, okay, we already covered that. That was me posting that. If you can't control yourself, you're a weak man. Who has any special power to control another human being? You'll be shocked. You see how you said that it flows, right? When you are presented with a real life problem, like this woman is, as far as you're concerned, she's running her mouth, right? And to her, she's just communicating. She's telling you what it should be, but your own experience is that she needs to just stop, right? You will lose control of yourself. No, it's going to happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. But it's easier to manage when you are aware that it's going to happen. It's easier to manage. Yes, as long as working for you means working for plural you, not singular, then all is well. Yes, it means, if it's working for you, it means it has to mean it's working for the other person. Because if it's not working for the other person, then you're just cooking your breakfast. That's all you're doing. And yes, it will hurt. No matter how much you say, you don't care. Don't care. Don't care.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Still don't care. I don't care. I don't. I don't care.
Yeah. Uncle Beno, ask a question. Please feel free. Allow me to lead. Listen, how many men have you heard say that in this internet? Me, I hear it in real life. The internet people always say, that's internet. No, these things are real life. I hear it in real life. People say this all the time. You need to just allow a man to be a man. I'm like, wait, what? Say that again. Anyway, I would say it depends on the partner, and like MOP said, if it's working for you. Yeah. Which one is masculine man? Should that one still exist? Absolutely. Because it's if you're not a flexible human being. So we're getting all these ones. Hey, we get all these ones. I think I have enough ones from 12 people watching live. Okay. All right, we'll see. I'll see if I can make that work. You still have a question? I'm waiting for the question, Uncle Beno. I'm waiting for you another 1 minute or so because I need to round up. Every husband must know this. Why? Because they need to agree or disagree with it. What I have done, if you've watched this completely today, is at least make you aware. That's my goal, just the awareness. Okay, that's my goal. Because you might even find that if you try to carbon copy paste this exactly, you might find yourself struggling. You know, so please don't shut up. Please ask questions if you're talking about here. I'm saying if you think, okay, I should just shut up in marriage, if that's what you comprehended from what we've covered so far. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you about. You know what I mean? Uncle Beno, I'm waiting. Where's the question? Should we put a timer up for Uncle Beno? I think we should put a timer up for Uncle Beno. Maybe like 30 seconds or something like that. 60 seconds? 30. I already gave him 60 seconds. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do 60 seconds. Let's do 60 seconds for Uncle Beno. Chinya, did you get some value from this? Yes, you got some value. Majority of the point, they're not gender specific, by the way. So for you ladies, that you might want to see if you can flip some of that around. Here's what I'll tell you. If she comes up with that 17, I will not show her mine. No, she's not watching live. I won't show her mine so that she can come up with something that's also unique from our own standpoint. All right. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys. I appreciate you for everything, for being here. Thank you, my brother, for the 10 pounds super chat. I appreciate you for that. That goes a long way. It helps. Hopefully you guys have been enlightened, educated. Yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit, like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we are here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.